Good evening, campers, and welcome back to Space Engineers. I'm Commander Exorcist. Today is a huge day for Space Engineers. Keen Software House has released version 1.206 to all platforms, and the Fieldwork update with its companion DLC is finally here. The mysterious theme of Fieldwork is finally revealed, and it's a perfect fit for the space-building nerds among us, laboratories. The newest DLC and update for Space Engineers includes a huge amount of quality of life changes along with new blocks that will enable engineers to build the mad scientists' laboratory of their dreams. All of this began with a live stream exploring the update, which led to the reveal of one of the most incredible trailers I think I've ever seen. Anyone who plays Space Engineers will appreciate the amount of time, effort, and skill it took to complete this technological marvel. During the live stream, the community manager spoke with Merrick Rosa about the future of Space Engineers in light of the ongoing SE2 development. In the interview, Merrick had a few things to say to reassure the community that the venerable Stellar Sandbox isn't going anywhere. Essentially, Space Engineers is continuing development, and updates will be released every few months. Even though a large part of the Keen team is working on SE2, SE1 remains a big priority. Additionally, the company has no internal timeline for halting development on SE1, even going as far to hint at the next update and DLC. Those of us who are in love with the game's survival mechanics will be thrilled to know that the next update and DLC focuses heavily on these gameplay elements. Merrick said on the stream that the next DLC will introduce new survival mechanics such as farming, environmental hazards, and more options for customizing the survival experience. Count me in. Now, Update 1.206 for the base game includes 4 incredible new blocks: the Prototech Fusion Reactor, the Small Oxygen Tank, Large Grid Small Connector, and a Refill Station. Additionally, there are a significant number of quality of life and PvE changes, including a complete overhaul of the Unknown Signal System, the Cargo Ship Encounter overhaul with 41 new ship and drone designs, and now, Space Engineers 2 block rotation controls have been moved into Space Engineers. That's where you hold control and use the WASD keys to rotate your blocks instead of home and insert or the number pad. This is a huge improvement in my opinion. Mods are no longer considered experimental, which is huge. This shows that Keen values the work of the modding community on a level not seen in many other games. And they've also improved planetary encounter spawns. Now, these are just some of the highlights. A complete list of improvements and changes are available in the patch notes available on Keen's website, and those will be linked in the description below. Now, we're going to transition away from the update itself, and I'm going to showcase all of the blocks included in the Fieldwork DLC. Welcome everyone to Exorcist Shipyards, where I've collected each of the new blocks in the Fieldwork DLC and the free base game update. And I'm going to take you on a tour so that you can see all of them in glorious detail. And so we are here at my shipyard base, and so I've just kind of compiled everything here so that you can see them. And we're going to jump in here, and I am going to bring up my welder primarily because that will allow me to see the details on each of the blocks as we go along. So we got a lot of new blocks, and by themselves some of them may be a little difficult to kind of see what they are, especially the flooring over here, but we're going to go through and I'm going to show you each one of them. Yeah, one of them is, a couple of them are already active. They don't and I am in creative mode, so that's probably why, but some of them have some really unique effects associated with them. So we're going to step over here on the side, and actually let me give you a kind of a bird's eye view first. So this is a bird's eye view of everything inside the new DLC that was released, the Fieldwork DLC. So, alright, we got rounded pathways. We got really awesome rounded corridors. So there's the standard version. Here's our lighted version, and then we have our rounded corner, which is really cool. We have a T junction here, and then we have a cross junction. So we've got our X for your intersections, and then we have a round corridor transition. So this transitions from the old style rounded corners, square pathways, to this newer round one. So that's really cool. And then over here we have the doorway. So we have our, we can build our rounded airlocks if we want. So that's really cool. So we did get a really nice set of corridors. It's nice to be able to add some more varieties to some of the interiors of our builds. This block right here, this is a larger piece of decorative flooring. So I'll go ahead and show the decorative flooring. But this is kind of like a central piece that you would put in the middle of the floor. And then over here are different flooring blocks that we got that have different designs on them that will fit together. So if you wanted to create kind of a unique floor for whatever you're building, then there's a variety of options. So we got 4 different decorative blocks here for flooring. And then this massive one here that takes up, I believe, 4 different blocks. So it's pretty cool. Here is the lab vat. I believe you can put yourself in it. So I can't leave once I'm in. So I think, unless, yeah, let me do this. There we go. So like they were saying, there is water in Space Engineers 1. It's bubbles. That was one of the hints that they gave us. So here we go. All right, so we have a lab vat. We can preserve laboratory specimens. So if you want to preserve yourself, then that's an option. We got really awesome lab doors. So these are the 2 different designs. And so like the standard window designs, you've got the smoke shading on one side and one on the other. They're the same. It's just the direction that the darkness is placed there. Always make sure that you close your doors when you're done with them. Here we have a cargo terminal. So we've got half. So this is a it's an interface. It's a little interface for us to be able to access our cargo a little more efficiently. We've got one here too. So you've got a half and you've got a full block. Here we have a laboratory small oxygen tank. I love this thing. This is really cool. So we got an oxygen tank, and then over here we got a laboratory O2 generator. Now from the ground here it just kind of looks like a regular block, but if we fly up here, you can actually see the generator producing the oxygen there inside the liquid. So it's really cool. Really loving kind of the bubble theme that they went with for the liquid here. So we got a couple of desks. So we got a lot of lab equipment. Lab desk here. So if you need to pop out your hard drives or your 8-track tape or whatever that is, there you go. We got more lab equipment here. So we got a lot of variety as far as laboratories. That's really kind of the theme of this update. We got more 8-track tapes here. And then we got more lab equipment. We got a microscope lab desk. Just checking to see. Lab sink. So if you're not happy with the standard sink, you can put yourself in a lab sink. And then we have a laboratory cabinet. And a lot of this is more storage. So there's a lot of storage options for you. So is that 2? Okay, yeah, so they're all linked to the same piece. This is neat. So if I back away from it, actually, let me see if I can get on the side here. So we got a vent cap. This is an exhaust cap, and it's designed to decorate structures. And if I back away far enough, you can kind of see that it's pouring out smoke vapor, and it does that no matter what it's attached to. So it's designed for that smoky industrial aesthetic. So those are neat. Here we have lab experiments, various lab experiment opportunities. I couldn't get these to do anything, and I'm sure that there's ways to get to interact with them, but you've got several of these. So we've got this one that's got 4. We've got one here that's got a giant one. I'm guessing this is where you put your xenomorph when you catch it. And then this one over here is a laboratory experiment as well. My guess is this is kind of like a flux capacitor. It's like a time travel thing. But a lot of these are at least decorative as far as I'm aware. And then, speaking of decorative, I love the industrial aesthetic that they've leaned into recently. And so we have a pipes junction, and then we have pretty much every alignment of piping that you could want. And so these are decorative blocks, and you can place them anywhere and build the industrial setup of your dreams. So if you want to build like a mad scientist laboratory and have a bunch of industrial pipes running around, then that's the those are the blocks for you. Why is that there? And then we have a laboratory hydrogen tank. This is a small grid item. That's why it's floating here. So it's a small grid item, which is great to have a laboratory hydrogen tank about this size for a small grid. That is, there's a lot of opportunities for building with that one. And then the one that they have teased and shown and really shown off is the Prototech Fusion Reactor. And so the Prototech Fusion Reactor, I'll show you the stats. It's got 400 megawatts. So it's 400 maximum output. That's pretty good for a single generator. So, and it's really nice. I really like the design of this thing. So yeah, so the Prototech generator is here. It's gonna go up and it's got a little spinny green on the top of it to show you that it's working. So yeah, so we did really well with the Fieldwork update for Space Engineers. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the different things that they've done. Let me show you kind of what I was talking about. So if I pull up a block, I'm holding down Control and A and rotating this in the exact same way that we do in Space Engineers 2. That is such a huge quality of life improvement. It really is, so that I can keep using my number pad for other things that it was designed for. The final thing I want to showcase is oddly named the Great Skin Hunt. Keen has dramatically increased the spawn rate of all skins in unknown signal encounters from now until May 30th. So if you're missing a piece of a unique skin, this is the time to get out and test out the new signal system and trying to complete your remaining sets. All right, that's going to be it, everybody, for this tour of all of the blocks. And so are you getting the Fieldwork DLC for Space Engineers? And what are you planning to build? I'd love to hear more about your designs and your plans for this DLC and for this update in general. If you're not getting the DLC and you're just getting the basic update, you're still getting some of these cool blocks. So I'd love to hear what you're doing with them. Leave a comment below and be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future Space Engineers or Space Engineers 2 updates. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there.